You know what's a risk? A clean slate, a fresh start, a chance to hit the reset button, look yourself in the mirror and say, all right, let's fix this. That is exactly what Arizona State President Dr. Michael Crow did when hiring Graham Rossini as his new director of athletics. New leadership, new ideas, new expectations, and new pressure. In the Valley, there is no such thing as April showers, but over the next 30 minutes, we hope to keep you refreshed with all things Sun Devil athletics. Welcome back to Studio 6 and another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. My name is Max Zepeda, and that is the incomparable Gabby Chernoff. And Gabby, we enter the final month of season 22, and still so much left on the Sun Devil calendar.
It's another edition of Cronkite Sports Live, but this time not in Studio 6, but we're still in downtown Phoenix, this time outside of the Footprint Center, the home of the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, coming off of the Jerry Colangelo Classic for Arizona State and GCU men's and women's basketball. With that being said, we welcome you outside on an early Friday morning here to CSL. Max Zepeda and Justin Lacertosa here on the corner of Jefferson Street and Diana Taurasi Way. And Justin, it may be 1:30 in the morning, but it's still a Friday and it's still another day for another CSL.
Thanks so much, Jason. But on this program, we have mentioned an infinite number of superlatives to describe Kenny Dillingham. Passionate, energetic, honest, and even hilarious at times. But there's one important adjective that has probably defined CKD the most: young. Now the 34-year-old, who's the youngest head coach in the Power Four, is taking his program bowling. And our Aiden O'Neill has more on what it was like to live amongst the start of the information age.
Good morning from a chilly Grapevine, Texas, here outside of the Gaylord Texan Resort, where just moments ago the College Football Playoff Selection Committee made their final decision on who they believe should be in the first of its kind 12-team college football playoff. Welcome to the Flats here on the campus of Georgia Tech University, as I am just outside of Bobby Dodd Stadium, not only the home of Yellow Jacket football, but also the site of the 1970 Peach Bowl, where 54 years ago the Sun Devils dominated against the North Carolina Tar Heels 48-26 in their only previous ever date here in Atlanta. Throughout this astonishing season, Cameron Scadaboo has been proving the doubters wrong, representing as the emotional soul and physical image of this Arizona State team. But tonight, with yet another 3-touchdown performance with millions watching across the country, he may have in fact proven something much bigger. The questions surrounding Arizona State's special teams have seemed to be lingering since the preseason, but considering none of the vital situations that would force those questions to be brought up have yet to hit the Sun Devils, it didn't really hit them until Saturday in the Queen City. But after 2 huge missed field goals by Ian Hershey in the second half, Kenny Dillingham made it clear to the nation that there needs to be a change in special teams, and that it might even have to come outside of their own locker room, and even to those like you and me.
But our kicking game's atrocious. So if you can kick and you're at Arizona State, email me, right? We're going to have kicking tryouts on Monday. So bring it on, kicking tryouts Monday. Let's go. Yeah, I'm dead serious. We're going to put it out on our social. We're going to have a kicking tryout on Monday. We got to find somebody who can make a field goal.
It's obviously no surprise that there is a conversation surrounding the Big 12 preseason media poll no longer existing. And Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark addressed originally in his comments that Arizona State, he felt like, was tarnished because of last year's preseason media poll. Is that something that you'd agreed upon? And do you feel like that there was a unanimous agreement between the athletic directors and the coaches on, yeah, this is in the past, this is a phase we need to move on from? Or was it a difficult decision?
Not a difficult decision at all. I mean, we believe that we want to start the season with every 16 fan bases thinking that there's a chance to compete at a high level. And, you know, last year was a good example of we were picked last, so we started 16th. We weren't on anybody's radar despite the progression in our season. And it wasn't until around Thanksgiving time that the nation was starting to pay attention to what was happening in Tempe.
If you remember Justin Watley from the 2024 Arizona State football season, it may have been because of this Week 1 moment.
A loose ball, and ASU has it, and the Sun Devils are in for a touchdown. It's Justin Watley.
Or this moment in Week 3.
Eat him up, kids! Eat him up!
Or this moment in the Territorial Cup. But what if I told you there was a much bigger story involving the 6'2", 275-pound defensive lineman? A story that begins in a city known for football. Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
I remember him being 6 years old. That was the first time him playing. And we're sitting out there, and he's just like splashing in a puddle. And I'm upset. I'm telling his dad, like, this is nonsense. Like, they need to develop these young kids. But Justin didn't even care. He was just happy to have his helmet on. Young, little, 6 years old. So it's definitely been a journey, been a process. I didn't know really anything about football, so.
Probably like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I just remember him getting up, walking down, and sitting on the chair next to me in the middle of the night while I'm watching game film, interested. And he probably was about maybe 4 years old.
His father, Scott, has coached the game at the high school level for nearly a quarter century. But it was another family connection that truly hooked Justin's love for the game at a young age. That being his uncle, Pro Football Hall of Fame safety, Troy Polamalu.
My dad likes to say we got a house divided, man. He loves his Browns, man. But growing up watching Troy all the time, and I gravitated towards the black and gold for sure. Being young, going to the game, seeing Troy signing footballs for him, and he fell in love with the game and watching Troy from that point on.
His love for watching Troy catapulted him to being a 3-star recruit out of high school and a fresh start more than 4 hours down the road from home with the Cincinnati Bearcats, making his return to the Queen City last October an emotional touchstone for his entire family.
What is so crazy is I ended up missing that game. I watched it start to finish from Atlanta, Georgia, and as soon as the outcome came out, I sent him a text and had to, bring him right back up because I know my brother is somebody who's really hard on himself.
Over there it's very tough, hard, gritty, always football around the clock. And not that that's a bad thing, man. Some people learn differently. It was the first time in his life where everybody loved the game as much as he did. And so he felt at home. It was my opportunity I get to be dad again and be not his coach, but his biggest fan.
Now, Watley enters the summer in anticipation of his final collegiate season, where he hopes to lead his men along the front line while still bringing his uncanny personality wherever he may be.
Listening to Coach Dillingham give Justin all these promises that he actually came through on, and just watching my brother be able to be seen here, I think it's a great place for him to be. And I really couldn't imagine him any other place.
If Justin wants to say, hey, I want to hang up my cleats and I want to do something different, we'll support him in that area too. I don't foresee it, but if that was, the case, then, definitely would support him in whatever ventures it is that he wants to do next.
I kind of look at, our whole team as a huge puzzle piece, and everybody just brings something different and it all clicks. It's weird because I've never been a part of something that meshes this well together, man. And everybody's hanging out with each other and spending time with each other, and our chemistry rises so high that I feel like it makes us as a team unstoppable.
But regardless of what his final ride in Tempe will look like, there is little to any doubt that his team for life will be there every step of the way. In Tempe, Max Zepeda, Cronkite Sports.